Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I am your host, the Housecoat Gamer. It is time for time in a bubble. Bottle. Sorry. This is one of the better missions. Not the best, but it could be worse.
We have a lead on the Krinim. Voyager went to Krinim space looking for them a few months ago, but didn't find much more than a Vaudois and some anomalous sensor readings. But now, we found a Ferengi, selling what he claims are Krinim artifacts. You are authorized to negotiate with the Ferengi and obtain these artifacts. Follow the trail where it leads. We need a weapon against the Icodians, and the Vaudois have gone to a great deal of trouble to keep whatever secrets the Krinim have out of our hands.
Ooh. An additional kit module is always nice. Even if I'm still using the assimilate one. Yeah, these ones were just placeholders. I figured, have them, even if they're not really useful. So I pulled them out. Now hopefully they will be of use. And yes, this is the New Orleans class, or the Lafayette Recon Destroyer. It's actually going to be the only time I show this ship in the game. For one simple reason. It isn't that it sucks, it's that I've got the trait for it, and really I've been looking for an excuse to get rid of it. And I am not going to argue
Welcome to Josana
with it. I made a promise that I would feature every ship in the game at least once. Well, every ship I can get my hands on, at least. If I can't get my hands on it, I'm not going to show it. If you know what I mean. Ah, crap. I hate it when STO lags. But yes. It's going to be the only time you see the New Orleans on this tune. Sorry about that, in case you were reading about it. Basically, we're supposed to be providing him with enough latinum to buy another moon for Quark. Problem is, I hate Ferengi. They are money-grubbing bastards. And the only ones worth a damn, or worth respecting, are what's the awesome one? The one with the knives. Gala, I think. It's not Quinn. It's the Ferengi mercenary. Then there's Nog, and finally Rom, who wants to reform Ferengi society to be better.
May I help you? Oh, wait, you must be. I'm sorry, but the business facilitator is busy at the moment and cannot be disturbed.
We have an appointment. He has an artifact to sell me. Or rather, an artifact to give me. Because I'm not paying him one penny.
Yes, but Quen left me explicit instructions about this. He's in the middle of a delicate negotiation to triple his profits on the sale of a rare Delta Quadrant artifact, and cannot be disturbed.
And this is why I hate Ferengi. The moment someone gives them more money, they're gonna renege on a deal. Yeah, I don't like them.
Maybe, let's see, it was something Krenim, I think? Oh, Delta Quadrant treasures are all the rage right now. Artifacts from cultures the Vaadwaur wiped out are particularly valuable. Quen's made quite a bit of latinum bringing them back through the gateways. Now, that profit-sharing plan he promised me hasn't materialized, but is it my place to complain?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, but my instructions were very clear. Well, I'm sorry, but I need this job. I'm trying to save up enough for a ticket off this station.
I have a shuttlecraft. Go where you want.
You can? What am I saying? You have a starship, of course you can. Go on ahead. Quen and the other buyer are in the cargo bay, but you better hurry. They were trying to get the deal finalized before you could stop them. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Get to my ship. I'll deal with Quinn. And his buddies with 45 ACP. Yeah, I don't think so.
Not so fast. The gentleman with the rather imposing associates over there has just made a very competitive offer for the device. Care to make a counterbid?
Here's the deal. Give me the device. I don't shoot you. Can you tell I don't like Ferengi?
You said there weren't any other buyers, Quinn. Now what do I see? Starfleet stooges here to cause trouble. Guards, get these riffraff out of here so I can conclude my deal in peace.
You honestly think those little Nausicaans are going to stop me? Then honestly, you're an idiot. Oh, look at that! Aw, that's cute. You thought you could win! Well, you're wrong.
Fine! I'll add what I was going to pay those guards to my offer.
Hold it! I am Nog, son of Grand Nagus Rom. And I am a Ferengi. And when you deal with these people, you deal with me. You have a choice. Either deal with me, or I ask my father to have a word with the liquidators about your poor business practices.
Well, I'm sure we could come to an understanding.
That's what I thought. Now, kiss the staff. Get out! Not you, Quinn.
Nog, played by the late Aaron Eisenberg, and one of the few Ferengi I actually respect, other than the... He's the ultimate Ferengi. He doesn't care about profit, he just cares about killing things. For him, profit is a bonus.
Here's my best offer. How about we agree on a price, and you get your Delta Quadrant doodad, and I leave. Everyone's happy.
Me being happy would... Oh no. Here's my offer. I put a bullet in your head. I break down the security field to take the artifact. Then everybody is happy. Because I don't like you very much, Quinn.
No? Fine. How about I answer your questions and maybe then I get to leave? But let's get on with it. Every minute I stand here, I'm losing a strip of latinum. Time is a very valuable commodity.
Do I care? No. Frankly, Rom hasn't been aggressive enough at changing Ferengi society for the better. I mean, seriously. They're still squabbling over profit. I mean, that's kind of what they do. But seriously. Make it less squabbling and more actual good deals. Because the way the Ferengi do business isn't good business. at all.
The device is Krenim in origin. Specifically, it's from the Krenim Imperium. Constructed sometime in the mid-22nd century, if I had to take a guess. Strange piece of technology. I haven't seen anything else like it. Highly advanced, and it has hallmarks of Krenim work, but it's, odd. Definitely odd.
Of course it's odd. All Krenim technology is odd, especially when you take into account that 90% of it is designed to mess with time somehow.
The Vaadwaur, that's what. At one point, the Krenim Imperium held more than 200 star systems in the Delta Quadrant. They lost some of that territory in the Capital Wars, but overall they were doing well. Not the biggest business in the quadrant, but not the smallest either. When the Vaadwaur started their war, Gaul took a special interest in the Krenim, bombed them back to the Stone Age, and then some. As far as anyone knows, the Krenim are basically extinct these days.
Nah, Babylon 5 reference.
I picked it up from a Talaxian who wanted to trade for supplies. He told me he got it from the Kayana system. That was it. There used to be a Krenim colony there, but it's gone now, just like the rest of their empire.
Somehow I doubt it's actually gone.
The Talaxian wasn't very clear on that. He just said, gone. If I'd asked any more questions, he might have increased his price.
And I would have been very happy for him to increase his price. Anything that cheats you is good for me.
As a show of good faith to the son of the Nagus, I'm willing to tell you for free. But don't let this get around. It would ruin my reputation as a businessman. The device emits some unusual energy readings. The shielding may have malfunctioned, or maybe it's not fully operational anymore. I'm not sure. But that's why I'm selling it as an antique. As is, and no refunds.
Typical.
Do I look like a member of the Vulcan Science Academy to you? I don't know. It's yours now. You paid for it. You figure it out. I hope it doesn't blow up your ship.
I heard that.
Now, may I go so we can put all this unpleasantness behind us? I want to drown my sorrows in a comet cocktail and think about all the profit I didn't earn today.
Oh, you think I care about the profit you've lost? Fun fact, I don't. Now get out of here! You do it too.
Don't let the staff of office and these good looks fool you. I'm here as a Starfleet officer, and I don't normally flaunt my family connections, but in this case, it seemed like the best way to solve the problem. So I borrowed my dad's second best staff.
Good work, Nog.
Interesting. I know Voyager encountered the Krenim during the journey, and Tuvok was looking for survivors of the Vaadwaur purges. For now, though, perhaps we should concentrate on learning what we can from this device.
Agreed.
Quinn left without taking down his security, but fortunately I know how to get around it. This isn't a very sophisticated system. It's hardly worth the latinum he paid for it. If we overload the EPS conduits, we'll create a cascade failure in the system that the control protocols won't be able to handle. That should drop the force field.
Now for a bit of information for those who don't know who Nog is.
It's true. My father is Grand Nagus Rom. I don't normally have much to do with his business dealings, but in this instance, a little show seemed to be the best way to solve our problem. I grew up on Deep Space Nine with my father and my uncle Quark. That was back before my dad became the Nagus. He was just a maintenance tech. Like my father, I preferred engineering to business. Captain Sisko helped me get into the academy, the first Ferengi ever to join Starfleet. Then my Grand Mogi started seeing Grand Nagus Zek, and there were a lot of changes on Ferenginar. When Zek decided to retire, he thought my dad would be the right person to see them through.
And he did it well. Just not well enough. He hasn't been aggressive enough to make Ferengi not be profiteers. To earn just enough to say, I am rich, but not enough to screw everyone else over in the doing.
Interesting. I know Voyager. Quinn left without taking. I think you can overload the EPS conduits.
You've heard everything. Well, the other variation is pretty much the same thing, so...
Now that the power flow is disrupted, we can override the administrative access requirement.
Simple enough.
The controls are, yes, over here by the artifact.
Beep, 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 beep.
Excellent. Now we can get a good look at this.
Now, let us see what there is to see. Simple enough.
The waveforms aren't like anything I've seen before.
Really? And what would those be?
I think I'm getting something. This is definitely Krenim in origin. And Quinn was right on the age. I'm also seeing some repeating elements in the base code, almost like a signature. And that strange energy Quinn was talking about is actually chronotons. A lot of chronotons. And chronotons mean temporal manipulation. This little box just got a lot more interesting.
While I do not agree with the comment, to honor Colin Meanly, at least I think that's how I pronounce his name, basically he's the guy who plays O'Brien, I hate temporal mechanics.
I'll take the device back to my ship, the Chimera, and have a look while we're on the way to the Kiana system. From what I understand, Voyager sent an away team to the Kiana system a few weeks ago, but they encountered some resistance and were forced to pull back before they can find what they were looking for. But now that we have this, maybe we'll be able to find what remains of the Krenim, if there's anything left to find.
Next stop, the Delta Quadrant. I do apologize if I seem to be just speed running, or if I'm a little distracted.
I've explored many places as a Starfleet officer, but this is my first time seeing the Delta Quadrant. According to Quinn, the Krenim artifact came from this system. I hope we haven't come all this way just to chase ghosts.
I'm just not looking forward to the
I've
next...
had a chance to look at the Krenim device, although I'm not sure how to activate it yet. It's definitely designed for temporal manipulation, although I don't think it would enable someone to travel through time. It's almost like a step sideways, if that makes any sense at all. I'll keep working on it and let you know if I learn anything more.
As I was saying, I'm just not looking forward to the next mission. I'm trying to not think about it. That includes reading a book. It's mostly a book about German World War II aircraft.
Voyager's preliminary scans of the system turned up a number of anomalies, but nothing conclusive. According to Krenim records, though, there's supposed to be an M-class planet in this system. We're not reading anything like that on the sensors. Could be. Let's check that wreckage out first. It might give us a better idea of what happened out here. And we should be on the lookout for Vaadwaur. Preliminary scans indicate they've been actively patrolling through this system.
Which is a bit of a cop-out. Eldex shouldn't be working with the Iconians at all. Unfortunately, they might not work with the Alliance because they're still working with the Kobali. A sentiment I tend to share. I hate zombies.
Keep an eye out for Vaadwaur. They're still patrolling this area.
But I can't really argue with them. You gotta live with it. It's a nice little boat, isn't it? This is one of the 359ers. The ship's made for the graveyard scene for Best of Both Worlds.
If I had to place a bet, I'd say that wreckage is where this artifact was found.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the stepping stones toward the galaxy. One of the final steps, as it were. Right before the nebula, the original nebula, the USS Phoenix's registry comes way before the galaxies. And the galaxy itself. This could have been a proof of concept ship that just so happened to enter production, however limitedly.
Heads up! Vaadwaur on an intercept course.
Oops.
The wreckage appears to be Krenim. The weapon signatures are definitely Vaadwaur. According to Voyager, the Krenim were a fairly small society. There had to be a reason the Vaadwaur went out of their way to target them. There are more Vaadwaur on an intercept course, but we may be able to avoid them. I suggest we use the mineral content of the asteroids I've marked to conceal our energy signatures. Vaadwaur sensors aren't as good as ours. Most of their technological advantage appears to be directed toward making better weapons. So it should work, as long as we don't attract their attention before we get out of their path.
In short, hide, keep, and not get spotted. But I'm serious, this thing just... it looks like a miniature galaxy. And it screams, I was one of the last steps in development.
Heralds! They must be looking for that Vaadwaur patrol. I don't think those heralds detected us. Let's hope they don't come back this way.
As I said. You know that in real life, people go through concept models until they come up with something that works. And the Galaxy Class development program pretty much did the same thing. And this had to be one of the last steps, a miniature galaxy to test the general feel of a warp drive. Designed for a ship that looks kind of like this, but in miniature. It's like flying a small scale model. And then you have a bigger ship that's that has a similar profile. In this case, the Nebula. Because the USS Phoenix and the USS Galaxy, well, the Phoenix came before the Galaxy. We've seen the Galaxy's registry code in Season 6 of DS9 during the first battle for Chintaka. As well as the Phoenix's registry code.
Herald's inbound! The Vaadwaur must have gotten a signal out. So much for our investigation.
Not really. All we have to do is just deal with that Vaadwaur ship, then go down to the surface. Try focusing, Death Beam! Yes, I'm aware that's not what it's really called. Hyperfocus primary arrays. It's a bit long. And not as fun to say.
There was something about the Krenim that was such a threat to the Vaadwaur and the Iconians that they're still patrolling the old Krenim systems. If we can find more Krenim technology, or maybe unlock what we have, we might be able to find out what is so important. That could be something the Alliance can use against the Iconians. I recommend that the Chimera and your ship patrol the outer system while we take an away team to the surface. I'll bring the device and keep trying to learn more about it.
Alright then, time to go on the ground. But yeah, that's the last time you'll be seeing the New Orleans for a while.
This doesn't make sense. There's nothing here that would cause the readings I was seeing from orbit, but there are traces of chronotron particles. I've never known chronotrons to appear naturally without some sort of temporal manipulation going on, but there's nothing here. I'm starting to come up with a theory, but I need some more data. I recommend we take some additional scans.
Chronotrons? You had the pronunciation right on Drazana Station. Is this a result of someone screwing up the, not having enough time to correct it? I mean, back then they didn't have much time. And if I remember correctly, the announcement between Time in a Bottle and the release of Time in a Bottle was very, very short.
Exactly, but we need to be quick. Those patrols we encountered in orbit will be missed soon. I'm going to order the Chimera to try to avoid contact, but warn us if more ships arrive.
Alright, let's get to work.
These tall spires are charged with temporal energy.
Like they've been exposed to it over a long period of time?
Curious. It's almost like it's in a state of temporal flux.
It might just be. Year of
I
Hell
need to get some scans. There's something going on.
is one of my favorite Voyager episodes.
There are more mineral deposits over there.
Some consider it so because
There's a resonant frequency here that's not natural.
they believe that's what Voyager was supposed to be. Voyager eventually becoming more and more broken down as time went along.
I'm reading another anomaly ahead.
But not me. Voyager could fix itself as long as it found the supplies, and between episodes they probably did. People just kept forgetting to, write them into the episodes. Go, hey, here's an asteroid, we're gonna be strip mining it. For all the stuff we need.
These anomalies have a shape, like a warp field, but not quite the same.
One of the few flaws in the show. Not writing in how they get their supplies.
The only other place I've seen sensor readings like this was in the wormhole.
Yeah, that's because it was artificial. And that screws with time just as badly. Oh look, heralds.
There, behind those rocks.
It's a good thing I have the assimilate kit module, huh? I can take them
Hurry,
out.
They'll be here any moment.
And as soon as they die,
This area
they
looks
become my
professional.
meat shields.
Get ready. I have an idea. We need to use the device. I've been trying to activate it, and I've almost got it. Keep them busy. If I can get it working, I should be able to conceal us.
Work quickly, Nog. I don't want to die on this moon. Ever. The first time wasn't fun. The second time wasn't fun either.
Here they come!
Alright. Let's get a couple of meat shields working for me. Now, the broken one. I don't like fused constructs. They can hit you from range.
More reinforcements inbound!
With their fists. They're horrendously broken. Buddy. Welcome to the collective. Ha-ha! Since when does that ever work? get it.
I need more time to align these frequencies.
Oh, that's cute. Welcome to the collective. Seriously.
Almost there. Just one more connection and that should...
Where'd he go? Oh, that's just great. Aw, that's cute. You know what you're gonna become? Another loyal drone. Yes, I'm enjoying the Assimilate console just a bit too much. It is turning enemies that have been a pain in my rear end ever since they entered the game against each other, and I love it. It is going to become one of my staples. Because, like I said, I'd rather have an advantage over my enemies than just, you know, play fair. My enemies aren't playing fair, why should I? Come and get me, heralds. Welcome to the collective. Yeah. Oh, now what? Huh?
If you'll forgive the pun, I managed to buy us some time.
You're right. That was horrible. I mean... You're a Ferengi, and these are Krenim. We pulled an Anorax, didn't we? We're outside the space-time continuum.
It's taken me some time to convince the Krenim to help us, but they finally agreed. Remember how I said the device could remove someone from the time stream? It did. That's where we are now, in the temporal bubbles. And how we perceive time in here is a little different than outside. That's why the Heralds can't see us. We're out of their timelines. Out of all timelines, in fact. While we're here, it's almost like we don't exist.
And this is an improvement? I mean, I could have taken all those heralds. With the exception of the actual Iconians. I mean, I can take out one or two, one Harbinger, one at a time. And all the little mooks can just join my army of the Borg. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut down on the evil hubris laughter, aren't I? I'm about to get my rear end handed to me. At least in the next mission. God, I hate Cogran.
No one's shooting at us. I think that's a good thing. The Krenim are... they're a little touchy. Almost being driven to extinction by the Vaadwaur has made them suspicious. But they're willing to talk to us if we help them stabilize the temporal energy. I suggest we help. I wouldn't want to be in here if the fields collapse.
Yes, I am well aware of what happens when those fields collapse. I've watched Year of Hell. It's not fun. And I don't want to get erased from history itself.
I've had some time to observe you and Captain Nog. and your actions make it clear that you are no friend of the Vaudois or the Heralds. This does not, however, assure me that you will be allies to my people. The Krenim have lost much. Our empire is gone, and our people have been killed or scattered. We are what remains, and I will do whatever I must to protect this system, even if it means leaving you to face the Heralds alone.
Ooh, very touchy.
You have already repaired some of our emitters that were damaged by the attack, but there is more yet to do. Should our temporal equipment fail, this location will be instantly overrun by Heralds. If that happens, none of us will survive.
Yeah.
More of our emitters must be realigned, and there are other pieces of equipment my people are already working to repair. Assist my team, and then we will talk again.
Alright then. Let's help the people. By helping them, we help ourselves. And the last thing I want to do is get shot at by these heralds. There's a lot of them. And while I am most certain of victory, it would take a lot of time.
The temporal compensators are out of alignment. They help keep us at a stable point in the timeline. If they fail completely, we could end up lost in time. Grab a hyperspanner. We need to get this fixed before the drift coefficient moves out of the safe zone. The Imperium was at its peak in the mid-22nd century. At that time, it controlled more than 900 planets, and our territory spread across more than 5,000 parsecs. Then came the Rilnar, and the Zal, and the Garanor, the Mawasi, and the Nahydron. Our wars chipped away at us, carving one planet after another away from the Imperium. There were only 27 planets left when the Vaudois came. Now, almost everyone on those worlds is gone too.
Yeah!
The temporal compensators are out of
That sucks. Okay. Realign crystals. Disconnect and reconnect the buffer. And everything is good again.
Good. I'll put the next location on your tricorder.
You know... I've been sneezing a lot over the last couple of months. And I nearly threw my back out with the sneeze I had while I turned the mic off.
Your fight overloaded some of the power couplings we used to moderate the temporal flow. If we had a contained space like the technology was originally designed for, this wouldn't be a problem. But we keep pushing the boundaries of what these flow modulators will do. I'm rerouting the power to take stress off the damaged couplings. But first, we need to get this capacitor aligned and ready for the transfer. The temporal technology was developed by a scientist named Anorax. He's still a mystery, even to us. We know he was a ship commander in the Imperium fleet and a genius in temporal mechanics, and that he started work on his inventions in the late 22nd century after our war with the Rilnar. Perhaps he saw temporal manipulation as a way to change our fortunes. We know he was working towards weaponizing his designs, and I can tell from what little I've seen that it is possible. But full access to his data is restricted, so I don't know the full capabilities of his work.
I do. You can control the destiny of a single molecule or an entire civilization. Problem is, you have zero control of what happens after you erase whatever it is from the timeline. It doesn't end well. In fact, I dare say it ends poorly.
Your fight overloaded.
Alright.
Okay, now it's starting to look like something.
Oh. I was prepared for a little session of dialogue boxes, not a waveform modulation thing. But that's a lot of heralds. Too many, in fact. I'm starting to think my chances would have been horrid.
Hold this. No, hold it right next to the bracket, or the spanner won't... There. Got it, thanks. Something is putting too much stress on these components. I'm not sure what it is, but we don't have enough spare parts to keep rebuilding this transceiver. Grab a tricorder and run a level 3 diagnostic. Maybe there are some microfractures. If we can find and repair those, this should hold out until I can fabricate a new unit. Anorax's original designs are for a temporal field that's big enough for a ship, sizable but finite. We've adapted the tech to cover much larger areas, but that makes the field more unstable, and we had to get everything operational before the Vaadwaur found us. So we cut some corners. A lot of corners. We're making updates and repairs as fast as we can, but we can't afford a failure. This tech is the only thing keeping us alive.
Yeah, it is.
Hold this. Anorax,
Oops.
hold this.
Alright, let's fix this. Alright, let's scan for microfractures. We need an epoxy. Let's repair the microfractures.
That should do it.
Now let's talk with the Krenim leader.
You've shown you're willing to help. Now perhaps we can come to a mutually beneficial arrangement. We have Anorax's plans, but not the... Interesting. The Heralds are opening a gateway.
Uh-oh.
The repairs should be enough.
I beg mercy, Great One. It appears they used a cloaking device and escaped.
You are forgiven. Make preparations to depart.
As you command.
An interesting development.
These sentients have proven to be resourceful. Already they have thwarted our plan to bring in the Solanae fleet.
Their struggles are limitless.
And yet they injured even you, Ticket. I advise caution. They are more dangerous than they appear.
We should rend their worlds asunder. Spill their last blood until it fills the oceans. It is time to strike.
I understand you want vengeance, but we must not act in haste.
We will continue with our plan. The whole must be as one. The whole must be as one. The attack on Iconia broke our unity. We were divided, diminished, weak. The other saved us from oblivion, but it took centuries to rebuild our bonds. We cannot risk more loss. The whole must be as one. The campaign will continue as planned.
So Iconians can't see through time, see anything that's time shifted, or deal with time travel at all. Good.
They couldn't see us? There were Iconians right in front of us and nothing. They had no idea we were here. We were completely safe.
Yes, we were.
The only protection left to my people is our ability to manipulate time. But it is something we must do with great care. Even the most innocuous of changes can ripple through reality in unexpected ways.
No kidding.
My people and I have made Anarax's theories of temporal manipulation our lives' work. In at least one temporal variant, his ship made the Krenim Imperium the undisputed masters of this region of space. If only we could recreate that vessel.
Oh no, you do not want to recreate the weapon ship. No one wants to recreate the weapon ship.
Anarax designed a ship, a wondrous vessel that could manipulate the time streams and erase elements in an attempt to bring about a desired result. Our records show that he even attempted to use this vessel to restore the Krenim's fortunes, but he was defeated by an unknown alliance. Afterward, the Krenim Imperium declined, as perhaps was its fate all along. We were diminished, but content to let time progress as it would, until the Vaadwaur.
That unknown alliance was led by Captain Catherine Janeway of the Federation Starship Voyager. And now you see why I am of the belief that when time finally has enough, it uses a Starfleet ship and a Starfleet crew as its proxies to go, I've had enough. I'm putting an end to this. Time does not like being screwed with.
The first Krenim worlds to fall managed to warn the others. When the Vaadwaur came, we hid ourselves in the time stream. It was the only way we survived. Before the Vaadwaur arrived, we were working on a relic. It was a replica of Anarax's time ship. With it, we could have gone back and eliminated the Vaadwaur threat before it even began.
And only made matters worse.
The Vaadwaur's assault on the Imperium took too much from us. Now we possess Anarax's work, but not the means to bring it to life. You have seen what our technology can do. We have the designs. You have the manpower and the materials. Perhaps your governments would be interested in mutual cooperation. Allow us a chance to undo what the Vaadwaur did, and we will give you something that will erase your enemies from time itself.
I don't want a weapon that can erase my enemies from time itself, as nice as that sounds. Because I know better. Erasing anything from the time stream only results in something worse happening. 'Tis better to go with the devil you know than the devil you don't.
There's more here than what you've seen.
You've hidden the entire planet?
Yes, we removed ourselves from the time stream to stay alive. With your help, we can change everything.
You hid an entire planet, but you can't build this time ship on your own?
We have the plans. Our resources are almost gone.
We have shipyards, workers, and all the materials you could need.
Precisely. We revealed ourselves to you as a gesture of good faith. What will you do in return?
Honestly, I would rather opt
The
for...
Iconians and the Heralds are gone. It's safe to resync with our time and contact our ships. But this is huge. A whole Krenim colony that survived the Vaadwaur? One that has temporal technology that even the Iconians can't counter? A weaponized time ship that can erase entire civilizations like they never existed? This could change the entire war. We could have a chance now.
We had a chance. All we have to do is just implement Anarax's temporal shielding onto every single ship. They can't affect us if we're phased out of space-time itself. Our ships would be basically invincible. Anarax's time ship survived a number of attacks over the centuries. and it was still fully intact. At least until Janeway rammed Voyager into it and hit the "I've had enough of this" button. But yeah, that's the only piece of technology we really need. Temporal shielding. That way we can just shrug off Iconian weapons fire and go, ha ha, while we slowly pick apart their fleet ship by ship by ship by ship by ship. We don't need a super weapon. Super weapons are dumb.
Temporal mechanics is not a complication we need, but this weapon they are proposing sounds intriguing. You and Captain Nog were correct in thinking the Alliance would be interested in investigating such a thing. Personally, I approve of anything the Iconians might fear. Kapla!
Like I said, temporal shielding is the only thing we need. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.